Welcome back, kiddies. Time for a bit of a story time, and probably something. I don't know. If it works, it works. If it don't. Cast your mind back to mid-90s or early 90s. There was a storm happening, and this average Joe had a tree come down. He thought to himself, "I'm not going to sit there and try and cut that with his handsaw." So he wanders his way all the way down to Big W, Kmart, Walmart, or Trader Joe's. I'm just guessing that one. Imbibes himself dirty old Mr. Pawnee. As he exits the store, saw in hand, grinning face, is like, "I'm going to go home and play Mr. Lumberjack." As most of these stores, they do their job, but there's something you can't get for these anymore. And it's, if you can, you hang on to them, because if you know how to use them, they're actually quite handy. Is the chains that used to come with them, because back when these were EPA stranglehold on them, they used to have a skip chain, actually a little genuine made pull and skip chain. You can occasionally still see them, occasionally you can still find them. If you find a saw with one still on it, that saw hasn't done any work. That's always a good thing to keep your eye open for. But this video I'm going to make a homemade one. A sort of skip chain, or hillbilly chain, skip chain you can call it. It's actually quite easy. You know, I can do it with my bench grinder or for my chain grinder, but I'm going to try and do this with an angle grinder because the average person doesn't have a normal grinder, except for an angle grinder. And the first thing you're going to do is you've got to mark your teeth. Most of your teeth are in a full sequence. Here's what you do. Actually, I might get a text instead of a crayon. Is you find usually most chains have a master link. If you can find that, you kind of makes things a bit easier, but this one doesn't. This one's full sequence, left to right. Sometimes you get a left, right, right. The first thing you do is you find your first two teeth, and you mark them. Just mark your two teeth, and you skip these two teeth. What we're doing with these is we're actually going to cut the top plate off, right back to the tooth, so she's pretty much just a really skinny tooth which doesn't cut. These will act like rakers going through, or a chipper, and pull the chips out. I was cutting pine with this the other day, and I was actually bogging the saw down to a point with spewing that oil out of it, because it couldn't clean the chips out. So mark your first two, skip two, mark next two, skip two, mark next two, skip two, mark two, skip two, mark two, skip two, mark two, skip two, mark two, skip two. And that being an even number saw or even number chain, it matches up perfectly from the front. And what we do is we'll come in with an angle grinder, and I'll take that tooth off. Actually, I've got a bigger chain right here. We'll be able to see it. Come on, let's just... Okay, now I've got to see what I'm doing here. Let's see. Got a new canvas stand. Focus. What we're doing is cutting this guy off right here. So, come on. Focus. We're cutting that tooth off to only leaving a space like that. That's all we're leaving, is that the top part of the tooth. I forget the name of it, but it'll act like a chipper as you crank at your saw. So let me go try and find an angle grinder, and I'll see if I can take this off. You could probably do it on a bench grinder if you're really good. Let's see. Grinders, where would you be? Let's see. Nope. I spoke too soon. Actually, you do have to use the grinder for this. Just didn't have the right grinding disc here. Must be out of grinding discs. Anyway, you can kind of get this using one of these grinders. All I did was move the base instead of the flat. And you can come in and just tack this off nice and clean. Let's give that a try. Just going to try and make sure I got no sparks, because this whole YouTube thing I do is filmed on my phone. That's how I do it. I have to get a camera and a computer eventually one day. Alright, so I've got power. Yes. Nope. That should be it. Wonder bar. Yes. What you want to do is cut the waker of every, or tooth of every waker, basically. Oh, part of the tooth. So you get full complement, 2 scrapers, and a full complement again. Not quite a proper skip where it's one here, one there, but you can't really buy them for 3/8 low profile anymore. And just keep moving along and doing them. So they heat up, but if you just keep moving along, they cool down. It might take you a good 5-10 minutes to do it. I'm going to skip forward here because no one wants to watch the bloke sit here and grind 100 something teeth. Alright, just finished grinding. What you'll end up is something a bit like this. I've got to turn around so you can see it. You end up with a full complement. And these 2 skinny wakers. They cut, just grind them to the same width as the waker. So it's only got to clean the guide for the waker. You can take them off if you wanted to, but I know people have done it, and you end up weakening the whole tooth a little bit too much. But with this on here, it still cuts a little bit, so you can get away with it. But with this setup, though, with just leaving the bit on, you can still sharpen these as much as you can sharpen these. You can still set them the same as a tooth. So when you go to sharpen your full complement, these half complement will cut the same. I've done it on all these, you know. I had to use the side of the grinder to do it. If you want to modify one of these to take the notches out of them, and have better, if you've got a better clamping system, you can probably cut these straight down. I was half thinking about modifying one of that cheap nasty thing I was given to do that particular job, but you know, that's something for a later day. So I'm going to put this on the saw and stick it for some ghost gum today. I think it's ghost gum. And see how she cuts. I've heard good things about doing stuff like this. You know, I might have to end up doing it for the bigger girl. I get a chance. Okay, here's part 2 of the homemade skip chain, which I commonly refer to as a skipabilly chain, or hillbilly chain if you want to call it that. Well, I've half cut the cutters, as in you've got the full top plates, and these are half top plates. So we'll see how these set. These saws are pretty much nearly identical in CC power. That's 38 and that's well, they say 33, 36, 41. I believe it's all the same. Both are ported. Obviously, he's ported. I'm still yet to do him because I've been lazy. He will come out in the second video. This is a little 38cc Chinese knockoff. We'll see how these work because this is filed. I've been filing this guy with a file for a 325 chain, and he's getting the 3/8 low profile file on this chain. So they're both the same chain, close enough to the same chain, different files. But that's a Pro Cut chain, and that's a Olgan chain. Let's just look at the Olgan is actually a little bit skinnier on the top plate. Anyway, we'll see how they go. What we'll be cutting into is this stuff here. This is Australian ghost gum. It's going to be about 10 inches wide. It's as hard as a coffin nail. How hard this stuff is. Some of the big pieces which I've been cutting. It's over there in the wood pile. I can't split foot with that log splitter. It just bounces off it, so I can't split with that. It's pretty hard wood. Right, I'll set the camera up and we'll get this cut. So let's get into it. It's a bit of a churn, it's been a bit dicky lately. Since you cut all that alright, this stuff is hard as buggery. Now this stuff is pretty much, it's hard as snot. You know, it's just hard. It seems to work alright, so I'll get the other one out which had the different file on it and see, because that's been sharpened with a 325 file, so the gullet's a little bit the angle comes right up to the top plate. That one has more of a gullet, so I'll pull that one out and give that a go. Alright, here's the little Chinese one. See how this goes, because it's actually its first cut since I've owned it. So, let's see if she doesn't roll over and fart and it's fake out. Yeah, even though they've been the same CCs, these just don't cut like a pawn. But it could be the oil containing it down, but I don't reckon they're not as good a saw as the 45cc and up clones or the Zindos. They're kind of crap. You know, that's with the chain. You know, it cuts a lot. I've noticed it cuts a lot better cutting the bigger stuff. I've cut some stuff which is already about this wide. Test the chain out on the pawn and slice it like butter. This is just a little bit fucking. It's just a little bit crap. But I cut some harder stuff, but it seems to work alright. You know, because 3/8 skip chain is too hard to get a hold of now. Low profile that is. Even at the moment here in Australia, it's hard to get the actual 3/8 full size skip chain. You have to try and order it and hope you can get it in. But you know, like anything, any questions, just post a comment down the bottom. Happy to answer them. Right, here's the comparison. This is the controlled. This is me 20. This is me 372 Husqvarna clone. It's a Pearl Barb, 70cc. It's running a 28-inch barrel, 28-inch bar with a brand new full chisel Husky X-cut chain. So this will be the control. You know what they are? Naughty naughty. Got a brand new coil on it, but that one died the other day. Short work of that crap.